Fantastic Four: The First Steps has just finished its second and going on the third weekend of its run in theaters. Though some people are claiming it's a flop, I'd like to believe otherwise. If you haven't caught my videos on the fan event at AMC and my review of the newest Fantastic Four flick, make sure to go check those out too. While I was at the fan event, I picked up the ever-famous H.E.R.B.I popcorn bucket, and this thing is really cool. It's screen accurate to the film, other than for the paint job on the arms and the total scale, but overall, this little guy is spot on to Herbie in the film. And I think with a small paint job, it could really rival what we see on screen, and anyone can do it. One thing I have noticed though, is that these little screws on the sides of his arms seem to get loose really easily. I'm going to try and find a way to remedy that and update you guys in a future video. For now, he has the ability to project the Fantastic Four logo out of his eye, which is a really nice touch, and of course in darker lighting, the better it looks. Right next to that is another button that activates Herbie's ability to play the theme song from the film, composed by Michael Giacchino. Speaking of, he's also seemingly composing the newest Spider-Man film score. I've been covering a lot of the set leaks and official reveals, so make sure to check those out and subscribe if you guys are trying to keep up with all the Spider-Man news. Anyway, this popcorn bucket definitely does enough to justify the cost in my mind, but I wanted to spice it up even more. At Disneyland and a lot of the promo events for Fantastic Four, Herbie is a remote-controlled vehicle thing and is puppeted from afar. In the film, I know that he's controlled by multiple people, and I can only assume that something similar is the case here. And I'm no engineer, so I don't have the total know-how to add motors in the arms or neck to make them move, but we can make him move across the floor. This started with the idea of attaching him to an RC car in some way, and hopefully without a giant plastic frame. This isn't going to take all too much either. Some industrial grade Velcro, a screwdriver, and some scissors should do it. Of course, go ahead and grab an RC car of your choosing. If you want to know, this is a $30 one from Walmart, and I'll leave it linked in the description if you want to use the same exact one I did. After a few minutes and I had got it out of the complicated packaging, I went ahead and put Herbie on top of it just to see how it would look and if it would function. I was a little worried there would be too much weight of the popcorn bucket on top of the RC car and it actually wouldn't go anywhere. But luckily enough, that was not the case. And for one, way too silly looking. And it's going to be way too heavy. We tried connecting some sticky back adhesives to the top of the car and placing Herbie on it, and he was able to stick to it and go, but any hard braking or turns and he'd fall right off of it. Luckily enough, there were some easily accessible screws around the frame of the RC car. I'm guessing because Herbie was sitting so high in the air on top of the frame, that obviously is not helping how top heavy it is, and he's going to be easier to fall. Using the screwdriver and getting all of the screws out, the frame came off pretty easily. Once the bottom was exposed, you can see there was a pretty big hole where I had hoped there would be some sort of support for the car. To fix this, I actually just used some cardboard and wrapped it in what's called gaff tape. It's really just some super strong tape that when wrapped around enough times, it adds a pretty good base to this thing. Once that base plate was attached well, it was time to add the Velcro. I didn't want to permanently attach Herbie to the RC in case of any upgrades, or I wanted to display him without his wheels. So I cut some Velcro to shape and attached it to the new base that I had made for the support of the remote control car. I used white Velcro this time around, just to try and blend it into the bottom of Herbie some more. It was kind of unfortunate I had to cover up this beautiful Fantastic Four logo that is printed on the bottom of the bucket. But if I ever take it off, I'm sure maybe I can use some rubbing alcohol and clean it up. I made sure these Velcro pieces were attached really well. We did not want them disconnecting when Herbie's on top of it. I let them sit to fully cure and pretty much glue themselves to the base of Herbie and the base of this RC car. Once that was ready, we went ahead and put Herbie on the RC car and gave it a whirl. And it worked pretty well. Obviously, he's not going super fast, and he's not making crazy turns or anything like that. The one that they use on set and for these different promotional things has a much wider base, so it has a lot more support than what we've got here. But for a couple of hours worth of work after finding a workable car, this came out really fun. I had a charity event coming up in a few days when this event popped into my head, so this is a simplified version of what I'm totally envisioning. You guys can definitely expect updates on this project in the future, as I plan to keep working on it and attempting to make it work a bit better. Let me know what your favorite thing from Fantastic Four: The First Steps was in the comments below, and if you got a Herbie popcorn bucket. I honestly love mine. He has not left the living room since we got back from the theater. I hope this video helped or entertained you in some way, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.